pretty sure it's Techzilla.
Hi, I'm Fikemi Aderoju of the Fikemi Aderoju Podcast, and you're listening to Into the Podverse with Tony Doe.
This week on Into the Podverse, we're joined by Fikemi Aderoju, the host of the Fikemi Aderoju Podcast. She shares her unique journey in the world of podcasting, focusing on personal growth and life lessons. Let's dive into her story.
Wait first. The APV Awards, uncle.
You say?
The APV Awards will take place over the weekend. You no go talk anything about them.
Oh, the APV Awards, right? Okay. A quick shout out to the winners, sponsors, team, fans, and all that, and we'll get into the episode.
You do well.
I am absolutely thrilled to extend my heartfelt congratulations to everyone who emerged victorious at the APV Awards 2023 over the weekend. What an incredible achievement. Your dedication to the art of podcasting has not only raised the bar, but has also touched the lives of countless listeners across Africa and beyond. Each one of you has demonstrated the true power of storytelling through the magic of sound, and your talents have shown brilliantly. I want to express my deepest gratitude to the esteemed panel of judges, of which I was a member. Your expertise and dedication ensured a fair and rigorous evaluation process, upholding the high standards of podcasting excellence as well as voice acting excellence. A resounding round of applause goes to our invaluable partners, sponsors, and fans. Your unwavering support has been the driving force behind this celebration of African podcasting talent. Your belief in the voices of the continent has made this event a remarkable success. So let's continue to amplify African voices, sharing stories that matter, and inspiring the world through the wonderful medium of podcasting. Together, we're making waves that resonate far and wide. Once again, congratulations to all the winners, and here's to the exciting future of podcasting in Africa. Fikemi's podcasting journey began almost 5 years ago, marking her 18th birthday. Over time, it transformed from a personal milestone into a platform for impacting lives and sharing her experiences with a broader audience.
I have been podcasting for almost 5 years, so my fifth podversary is on the 4th of October, which is also my 23rd birthday. The journey has actually been pretty interesting because it started off as just something I wanted to do to mark my 18th birthday, basically me being legal. And now it's something that in 2020 I dedicated to God, and He's been doing amazing things through. And I've also been able to share my experiences with people and, bless lives and, just encourage people and know that whatever they're going through, they have someone who has probably gone through it before or is just there to make them feel comfortable. So the journey has been, interesting. It's had its ups and downs. It's had times where I'm just like, oh my God, can I actually do this, or am I actually delivering good quality content? But all in all, my community has kept me grounded. So it's been quite a journey. What inspired me to start the Fikemi Aderoju podcast was the love for podcasting and the fact that I couldn't find any relatable podcast per se. So I loved listening to podcasts. When I got my first iPhone, I was pretty much curious and I found this purple app on there and I saw podcasts. So I decided to check it out and I listened to a couple of podcasts. I can't remember the names right now, but if I see their cover art, I'll most likely recognize them. And they were really lovely podcasts, to be honest. Like they were these podcasts that were like aspire to perspire type of thing, just encouragements here and there. You can do it if you put your mind to it and all of that. But it felt like I was listening to strangers and I wasn't listening to anyone I could relate to. So I was like, you know what? Let me start my own podcast. Also because I listened to a family friend who was a nurse or who was in nursing school at the time. And she was sharing a testimony on how she passed a certain exam in nursing school. And at the end of the episode, there was this ad by Anchor FM, which is now Spotify for podcasters, and they were like, if you'd like to create your own podcast free of charge, blah, 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 do this, do that. And I decided to check it out, and here we are today.
Her podcast's name, the Fikemi Aderoju Podcast, underwent several iterations before finding its current identity. The name change was influenced by family connections and a desire for uniqueness.
So the initial name of my podcast was She Speaks, and I loved it because she speaks, like I'm always speaking, right? But then along the line, it got difficult for my listeners to find me through Google because there were so many She Speaks podcasts. So I decided to make it She Speaks by Fikemi Aderoju, but it was pretty much too long. And then my brother started a podcast in 2020, the Fikemi Aderoju Show, but I was like, you know what? I actually want to change my podcast name, and the Fikemi Aderoju Podcast sounds like it. So I remember that day, and he was like, why are you stealing my name? But he wasn't really consistent with his podcast. Oops. So I took the name, and yeah, it is now what it is.
Fikemi's podcast is deeply rooted in her faith. She explained how her topics and stories are often guided by divine inspiration, with the Holy Spirit playing a significant role in shaping her content.
Most of the topics and stories I share on my podcast are, first of all, influenced by God. They're influenced by the Holy Spirit. Second, from movies. I watch movies a lot. So when I watch a movie and notice a storyline that's really interesting, or maybe a scene played out and I have a different opinion to the scene, or I feel like I learned a lot from that scene or from that movie, I tend to talk about it and share what I learned from it. I also get inspiration from conversations I have with people, from hot topics on social media. When I see people's opinions are going to a particular direction, I'm just like, I don't agree. So I always, I want to share my own point of view, and I have a platform to do that. So yeah, that happens as well. But it's mostly inspired by God, because the episodes I've been getting lately have been spontaneous episodes. So like I have a content book where I write down ideas I have for the month. But while I'm recording that episode, the Holy Spirit can just be like, okay, start recording all over again and talk about this. And I'm like, you have to be kidding me. That was when it started happening the first time. I was like, come on now. I had this already planned for this week. I told them I was going to record this, and he just be like, sure, you record it. You know, record what I wanted to record. And when I started obeying, I started, being more sensitive to God's voice, telling me what to record and giving me topics. Because the episodes I obeyed God in recording, got me reviews that I can't even, that makes me overwhelmed, because I'm just like, how did that episode, what do you mean by the episode changed your life? What do you mean by that episode was exactly what you needed to hear at that moment in your life? Like, the reviews I get from episodes like that are so powerful, and it just, keeps me going.
Fikemi highlights two particularly impactful episodes: vulnerability and my faith journey. These episodes not only resonated with her audience, but also had a profound impact on her own life.
So the episode title, Vulnerability, right? It was basically about how vulnerability is not a bad thing, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. I got so many beautiful reviews from that episode. It spoke to a lot of people, even still speaks to me. It's something I already plan to listen to again this weekend, because I've kind of been struggling with vulnerability. And it's just a constant reminder that there's so much power, in you being vulnerable, because not a lot of people can do that. And the second one is my faith journey. That episode was so, so beautiful. I just basically shared how I started my walk with God and all that stuff, and it got a lot of people intrigued, and it opened me up to a lot of conversations, and basically gave me a lot of responsibilities as well, because for some reason, people started trusting me with their faith journey. Well, that sounds so, like, obviously you trust God, but like they started, like, it felt like a responsibility. So they would come, share when they fall, share when they have tough times, want my opinion on particular things. And it's actually motivated me to get closer to God and know more about God and the Word. So whenever anyone needs light shed on something, or wants someone they can find comfort in, I'd have enough wisdom to give, really good advice.
Through her podcasting journey, Fikemi has learned that growth is constant and that it's essential to embrace personal evolution. She emphasizes the importance of authenticity and vulnerability in connecting with her audience.
I think podcasting has really shown me that, especially when I reflect on previous episodes, it just shows me that growth is constant and I need to cut myself some slack and give myself grace to grow. Because who I am now, in a couple of years, when I listen back to me speaking, I'd be like, oh, you're a wise woman, but perspectives would have most likely changed because I would have experienced a lot more things. So it's just giving me room to understand that growth is constant and it's absolutely fine for you to, be intentional about growing. And it's also helped me learn a lot about myself and things I, will tolerate and not tolerate, because it's opened me up to conversations with people and I really get to see how people think just from having conversations with them. So yeah, I think that's how I'll say it has influenced my personal growth and self-discovery.
Building a community of dedicated listeners has been a rewarding experience for Fikemi. She engages with her audience through comments, questions, and stories on social media, creating a sense of trust and connection.
First of all, let me call out myself. I'm kind of slacking in this regard because social media can be an overwhelming space for me, especially when I post an episode and I get reviews and engagements. I'm still learning how to balance that with real life. That's like my 9 to 5 and other jobs I do, because taking it all in, it feels like I'm choking sometimes. So I'm still trying to figure that out. But one thing I would say though is social media has really helped me form a community. So I have listeners who have been with me since the jump, talking 2018, 2019, 2020, even 2021 up until now. And they've basically grown with me. So it's like I have a family and I have a community that's so solid. They understand me and they can relate with me a lot. The reviews I get are of people sharing personal things that they will only share to people they trust. And it makes me just feel really, really good. And remember that I'm actually doing something of great impact and I'm not just speaking to my phone most times. So I also engage with them through my comment section. That really helps. Like I throw in a question and let them respond, or through my stories, like I post something about our episode and then people give their own opinion on it. And I'm like, okay, I can kind of, categorize my listeners and see how, see where they're at mentally. And the thing is, most times the reviews I get and the feedback come at very perfect times. It's probably at a time where I'm struggling or, trying to find that spark again with podcasting or something like that. And then boom, someone sends me a long review on how an episode I recorded probably 2 years ago, or the last episode I recorded was something they needed in that season. And then they share testimonies and share how it impacted their lives and how they told their friend and that friend told that friend. And the person is coming to tell me how I, helped them become a better person. And I'm just like, are you for real? Yeah.
Balancing podcasting with other aspects of life can be challenging. Fikemi shares her strategies for managing this balance, emphasizing the importance of structure, prioritization, and avoiding procrastination.
One thing I started doing was putting structures to things and not procrastinating anymore, because I realized whenever I struggled with balancing everything was because I was overwhelmed at the last minute trying to do everything I was meant to do earlier. So there are different things that have different timelines. Probably I'm meant to record an episode on Saturday and it's meant to be up on Thursday. I'm meant to submit something at work for Friday and it was given to me 2 weeks ago. Waiting till the last minute to do them will make me feel overwhelmed because I have to put out an episode on Thursday. I have to submit some work on Friday that I haven't been working on since. So I'll now have to do like an opportunity cost, which comes first. I don't want to lose my job. I also want to put out content for my listeners. So I realized that I actually had to take into account timing and doing like a proper priority arrangement. Okay, this week I'm going to work on this and actually sticking with it. Since I started implementing that, it's been a bit easier to balance it all, except when I'm introduced to a new thing. and I'm still trying to figure out how to balance that into my life. But apart from that, if it's not new, if it's something already in my routine, I've just stopped procrastinating. It's easier said than done, and sometimes, let me know, like, I catch myself slacking. But as long as I'm not procrastinating.
Fikemi's vision for her podcast extends into the future, as she hopes it will serve as a timeless legacy for future generations. She remains open to the exciting developments and topics that her journey will bring.
One thing for sure that I want, that I have as a goal for the Fikemi Aderoju Podcast is for it to, is the right word outlive me, but I really want my children and grandchildren to listen to the podcast and have an idea of how I thought in certain situations, and maybe the age they're at, they will be able to relate to how I dealt with a situation like that when it was my own time. And, just for them to have an idea of what their mom or grandmother was like. Because speaking to older people, I realized that you tend to forget certain memories, and I never want to forget like important memories in my life. So that's why I end up documenting them. But apart from that, I guess we'll see what the future holds together.
To aspiring podcasters in the personal growth and self-discovery niche, Fikemi offers valuable advice, encouraging them to be authentic, embrace vulnerability, and find joy in the podcasting process.
Be true to yourself and also be vulnerable. Tell stories, share your experiences. That is the best way to get people, in my opinion, to get people to relate with you. They'll feel like a sister is sharing a story with them, or they're just listening to a voice note from a friend. And that's very important, because a message you're trying to pass across will come across better, or will be passed across better in sense of a story or an experience. But if it's a lecture on 5 ways to succeed, this is that, it will most likely not come across to some people as interesting or, impactful. So while you're sharing your experience, just try to chip in essential points here and there and make them understand that, you're not judging them and you've experienced this before and this is what it is. Another thing is be vulnerable and enjoy the process. Enjoy podcasting so that when it's tough to record or you're struggling, you see it as a relief to actually record. When it's tough to balance life, you see podcasting as a relief and like an escape to record and share, instead of you seeing it as a chore and then it becomes daunting to put out content. So yeah, that's what I'll say. Just enjoy the process, be vulnerable. Obviously, when I say be vulnerable, I don't mean like put out very dicey information about yourself. You can be vulnerable and also conservative. So yeah, there's a way to make it work. You should listen to my podcast. But yeah, there's a way to balance it out. And I think you'll be good to go. Just enjoy the process and be true to yourself. Don't try to be like another podcast, because you'll never succeed at doing that. You'll never succeed at being another person. The only way you succeed well is by being yourself. Yeah.
Hey there. If you're serious about growing your podcast and reaching a wider audience, then listen up. Did you know that promoting your podcast on radio can take your show to new heights? Well, it's true. Radio advertising offers a broader reach, adds credibility, and opens doors to untapped audiences. But I've even got better news for you. Introducing radioadspread.com. With the code DOE800, you get access to a free consultation and your very own account manager. They'll guide you through the process, making it easy to start your radio advertising journey. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to expand your podcast's reach and influence. Visit radioadspread.com today and use the code DOE800. Your podcast deserves to shine. There's more information in the show notes.
Pretty sure it's Techzilla.
Of course it is. Who do you think it was? Hey yo, eagle eye view from the Kilimanjaro. Way above the clouds with my eye on the sparrow. Words pierce the air, invading your space. Sneak in through your ears, change the look of your face. The storyteller in this digital era. Could tell I got my groove back like my name was Stella. The vibe is stellar, but the message and the teller intertwining, defining the era. To those who oppose, I hereby propose the fist to the jaw, would you prefer the nose? As the story goes, everybody knows Mr. Tony Doe come correct with the flow. Hey yo, as the God podcaster, erstwhile known as the Shifu broadcaster, here to bring the peace to the world over. Haters can't connect, best to move over.